Hello everybody, we are here with your Horus support guide. So we're going to be starting off as we traditionally do on support by grabbing that Sentinel's gift. On Horus, he's a pretty dang supporty boy, so I'm actually going to go into the Gauntlet of Thebes. I'm going to grab my Chalice of Healing, my multi-pots, and my shell. So I'm going to very much be focusing on being a very supporty support. You can go a little bit more aggressive with Horus. You could probably go get away with the War Flag Sovereignty, more direct approach. But I'm going to go more for a mid-game team fight. We got a lot of hyper carries on our team. Fenrir, Quang, Izanami, Janice. We have a lot of just damage output in general. So I'm going to do anything that I can to be extra supporty to try to keep all of these huge damage output lads alive. So we're going to go for the more Thebesy full supporty combo. So at level 1, we are going to grab our 1. This is also going to be the ability that we maxed out first. It's going to be a knock-up, do some good damage, and then it's going to give us basically an AoE auto attack. So it's going to let us attack through an entire wave, and it's going to help us a lot with our lane clear. At level 2, traditionally, you're going to get your 2. This is going to be a stun and a protection shred. And it also has a little bit of cleave damage, which is also nice. It's going to let us play quite aggressive. Now, we have an Izanami, which means I don't have to be super afraid of these creeps that are here, because we should be able to go aggressive. So I'm going to dive right on into this Athena, try to position myself behind her to body block. To try and body block his dash. We can't quite get it off, but he does walk back in a little bit, and I slow him down with my 1, but we're not going to be able to grab the kill, but we should be able to keep this clear going. Now, if Apollo keeps moving up, I don't mind walking right back into him. So I'm going to look at the Apollo. I actually would prefer to go for the Athena right here. So I'm trying to look at the Apollo, but keep my eyes on the Athena just to see if we can't snag a quick kill, but it doesn't look like we are going to be able to. So Horus is a very team fight focused support character, but he also has a strong laning phase. His strong laning phase just comes from the fact that he has a lot of CC, and that in the mid game he will be a very much set up god. Your stun on your 2 and your knock-up on your 1 also have the ability to be great initiation tools and also great peeling tools. This game, we're probably going to be responsible for the initiation on our team because we've got a team that is so squishy. We've got an assassin in the solo lane, so I'm pretty much going to be solely responsible for our initiation, but I am going to have to keep in mind for the peel as well. So at level 3, we grabbed our 3. This is going to help us in our peeling immensely because it's going to allow us to fly back to our targets, to our friendly gods or minions. So it can be a very good getaway skill for Horus, help us get around walls, but it's also going to be very useful in our team fights for when we go in and initiate and then need to fly back to peel for our team. Speaking of peeling, there's a Robin here. I'm going to dash into my Izanami, throw down a shell, and the peeling has begun. We actually might be able to kill this Athena here. I'm going to pop my multi-pot, and I'm going to try to body block as much as I can for my Izanami, just standing right in front of him. And now we get the W key right back into it. This is going to be a huge win for us. It is very difficult to actually go gank the Horus lane early because of all of the CC that he can provide. So right there, I had to stand right in front of my Izanami. Bada bing, bada boom. Works out fantastic. Now I'm going to get a reinforced Greaves on my Horus. There is no cooldown boot option when you are a physical support. So we have basically Talaria boots and reinforced greaves as our two main options. And so between the two of those, I often go for those reinforced greaves, just safer. A couple notable exceptions, like with our Hercules, we grab the Talarias just so we could be in range of our driving strike and stuff. But for the most part, it's going to be those reinforced greaves. For our official level order on Horus, we are going to get 4, 1, 2, 3 is the level that I prefer on Horus. You could, if you want to, go 4, 1, 3, 2. I'm going to look for the Athena right here. I'm going to call for the attack. I'm going to stun Athena, land an auto, then start channeling my 1, and smack him in the head. So I prefer to play Horus a little bit more aggressive. With the warrior supports, I like to be a little bit more damage oriented, which is why I like to rank up the 1 and the 2 before I necessarily rank up my heal. So once again, that is 4, 1, 2, 3. But I don't hate the idea of doing the 4, 1, 3, 2. Some people even actually like to not rank up the 1 at all and just do the 2 and 3 for the supporty aspects. So some people would even go 4, 2, 3, 1. But I like the extra lane clear and the extra early god burst that comes from the 1. So that is my much preferred play style. So as of right now, I'm going to start rotating around the map. We have kind of decimated over in the duo lane. I feel confident I can leave my Izanami there by himself. And now I can just start running at the mid lane. So I'm going to be very aggressive here at the start of the game. Just kind of abusing this base damage that Horus has.
Be right back.
And as long as I've got a couple of minions or gods near me, I can always use my 3 to get away. Now, our ultimate on Horus has 2 main functions. One is as a getaway tool. So you need to get out yourself or your teammates. So you're panicking and you're going to get everybody out. The other tool is for massive potential ganks. So if I want to get my team maybe over to the right lane, I'm going to call for gank right lane. I'm going to start ulting. Hopefully they go to land inside of my 3. This will not stop them from knowing that we are coming. Now we're right on top of them, and we can try to go gank this Athena. The second I hear Athena channeling her dash, I'm going to go ahead and use my 1 to try to knock him up. Now me and Janice use our CCs at the same time. Now I'm just going to walk right out sandwich, hit him with the 2. Once again, we are really not working well with our CCs together. This is a little awkward. I'm going to pop a shell for my team. And it looks like he actually might get away just because of our lack of communication. We keep using all of our CCs at the exact same time. So in general, what he should be doing is he should actually be waiting for me to use my abilities. I've got way longer CC than he does, and it is also way riskier for Janice to be using for Janice. I wish my 3 would go off. Unfortunately, Smite is just not working very well today, but that's okay. So right there, I'm trying to use basically my 3 to get back out of that tower range. And normally I would have been fine right there, but unfortunately Smite decided that I had to click it about 14 times before it actually went off right there. But normally you can get away with those aggressive plays when Smite is actually working properly with the servers, but they've been acting up all day long. So we have backed up to get our Thebes. After our Thebes, we're going to look at their composition. They've got 1, 2 magical damages, and they've got 3 physical damage. Because they've got 3 physical damage, we're going to go right into a Sovereignty. Sovereignty is going to stack super well with our Thebes, and we're going to be giving out a lot of physical protections to our team, which is going to help everybody stay alive, which is going to be our job. Now, our standard ability combo on Horus is going to be our 2 on an enemy god. So we use our 2 on an enemy god. It's going to stun them and go through this cleave animation. Then I like to get in 1 auto attack, and then use my 1. The reason I get that auto attack in between isn't so much for the auto attack damage. It's not going to be that much damage, but it's going to be to delay out your combination. So you want to maximize your CC. And so a good rule of thumb, just to maximize the CC, I'm actually going to ulti right back here very aggressively on the soul. I can't see anything with all these trees, but I should be able to go ahead and grab this kill. Woo, that is so unfortunate! Smite!
An enemy has been slain.
Enemy missing.
So, your 3 is supposed to fly you to the target and stop before them, but when in Smite, sometimes abilities just don't work the way that they're programmed. So instead of flying to my target and stopping right before them, as you can see I have done on this Quang, it instead yeeted me right past him, Superman style, right directly through his portal. Once again, that is not how that ability is supposed to work, but Smite is having an absolute day with the servers. Oh man, that was excellent though. Oh man, that was golden. Anyway, I used my ulti there aggressively to position myself to kill the soul. That's kind of that quick aggressive positioning that I talked about. And remember, anybody, any friendly inside of your ultimate is going to teleport with you. That also qualifies for things like minions. So you can actually take a minion wave with you as well, which doesn't really matter for the most part, but does have some interesting late game applications for split pushing. So most of the time with your ultimate, the way that you're going to use it proper is you're going to be ulting from the jungle in a place where you do not think they have a ward. So that way you can basically gank without having to walk over any of those wards. That is the main purpose of the Horus ult. You want to try to get a gank off. So I'm going to call for a gank middle lane. I'm going to start ulting right here. The Quanger Banger, what he should be doing is running into my ultimate. So what he has done is he just kept running up like normal, and he didn't pay attention apparently at all. And so instead of us getting a free gank here and getting some kills, we're not going to get anything. This is the hard part with Horus, is he's an extraordinarily team-based character. You'll actually see most of the time Horus be more popular in SPL than he actually is in casuals or ranked. And that's because he requires a huge level of trust and communication in order to use him effectively. So if you call for a gank middle lane and your team doesn't stop to go through your ultimate, then there's basically no reason for you to be playing the Horus at all. So I'm gonna use my 3 to get back towards my boys, and we are gonna get a nice large collapse right here. I don't mind tanking the tower quite a bit on Horus because I can always use my 3 to teleport right back out. At this point, I can back up and I can basically just get my sovereignty. I see that my Quang is over here. So I'm going to dash to him, pop down a shell for my Izanami. Try to stun the tier when he comes in, but I'm just going to miss. I'm going to try to body block right here, just standing in front of my Izanami. So that way, if the Apollo does continue to go for him, I will body block all those autos and keep him alive. Now we get out of here. Now, do be careful about doing something like this. If you dash to a stealth target, the enemy will obviously know where that stealth target is, so try not to give away your teammates' positions by dashing to somebody that's trying to be sneaky and get away. Thebes is fully stacked. And so now I'm going to back up and get that sop. So on our 1 does actually go through walls with that.
Even longer, do you?
With that auto attack. So like if I want to slow somebody through a wall, I can go zing, and I can try to slow them through a wall. My 3 goes through a wall as long as I've got a friendly on the other side. And of course your ultimate clearly goes through walls. Your 2 on the other hand does not. For our matchups on Horus, two things that we really, really hate on Horus. One is cripples.
Enemies incoming.
Cripples wreck you on Horus.
An
Your
enemy
2
has been slain.
needs to be able to move. Your 3 needs to be able to move. And so you cannot use half of your kit if you're going against a lot of cripples. So that means the RDOs of the world are gonna be big no-nos. You do not want to pick Horus into a heavy cripple composition. The other thing that's really annoying for us, I totally am blanking. I'm gonna come back to it because I'm totally blanking on it. But anyway, for guys that we like to go against, we have very good CC on Horus, so anybody that does not have any CC immunity
Enemy missing.
is going to be fantastic for us, built into their kit. If you do not have a CC immune ulti, somebody like an Anhur or a Nox has those low cooldown CC immune ults, which doesn't let us be as effective as we could be. But if you're like somebody like an Izanami, you are a really good gank target for the Horus. So you gotta be careful. Izanami dashed in. I've already used my 3. You gotta be a little bit careful. So I'm gonna dash right here on the soul right after the combo, and he gets instantly put down. I'm gonna Heavenly Agility for my Izanami. I can see that he wants to go in here pretty hard. On my previous back, I also ranked up my Shell. As soon as I get my 2nd active on my support, that's typically when I'm ranking up my Shell, because I find that right about that level 12 marker on your support is when you're really breaking into those team fights and when those block sacks are going to be the most important. So with our Horus ult, you don't want to use this right in the middle of combat. This is a at the end of combat to get away ability, or at the very start to initiate combat.
Take this jungle.
So sometimes you'll see people just kind of go willy-nilly on Horus because, hey, everybody else just kind of used their ulti in combat. I'm just gonna pop my ulti right in the middle of combat. It's got way too long of a channel time. You are completely susceptible to being attacked while you're sitting there. So you are not immune to damage. So if I pop my ulti right now, my body sitting right there is totally susceptible to just getting slapper-dappered.
As we ascend above this mortal realm.
Which means you want to typically be away from the enemy team in a position that you are not going to be seen from, so you can either go for the ganks or the getaway. Now, the one exception to this is if your team needs a quick getaway, sometimes you just pop into your ulti and then quickly throw it down like right over a wall just to help your team get away from a dangerous situation. So I'm gonna pop my 2 on this Apollo, hit it with an auto, try to follow up with my little 1. He pops the mez, that's fine. That actually brings up another good point. While standardly, we want to use our 2 auto attack and then go into our 1 for the maximum CC duration. Against some characters, it can be beneficial to just simply 2-1. Anybody that's got an instant ability to interrupt you, like Apollo, he's got the mez, which is going to be able to go off on me and stop me from using my 1. Robin, who has the immunity frames on his 2, just like Chang'e, they're going to be able to stop your knockup, even if you give them just the tiniest, bittiest little amount of time between the 2 and the 1. So sometimes in order to maximize your CC on targets like that, you actually want to use your 2 and your 1 right off together. I'm trying to get to my Ao Kuang. I'm going to give him a heal, and I'm going to stand on this door to try to help him get out of here. I've got my Shell and my Heavenly available if he needs it. I'm going to try to zone out a little bit here in mid so my team can get this tier 2 tower. Just kind of walking at them. I shouldn't really be in any risk of dying right here. I'm just trying to zone them away from the tower. Things start to get a little scary, so then I back up, take that portal out. That portal actually intended for me. Very convenient. I see that Fenrir is here, so I'm looking for a stun onto the soul. Gonna follow up with the immediate 1 that time because she was trying to get into her 3, and I did not want to let that happen. Now with your 3, this heal is actually AoE. So if you see my targets right there, they group up just a little bit. So I can use my 3 and get that heal onto multiple people. So while it is a single target ability, it does actually give that heal in a very small. It's very small, so you have to be extremely grouped, but it does have a small AoE heal that you can utilize for your team. Now for my next item, I'm going to get myself a Talisman of Energy to get some more magical defenses online, as well as the increased attack speed and movement speed for my team. Talisman of Energy, just basically a mandatory item. A lot of solo laners can also grab it. Honestly, I don't hate having 2 of them on your team, but in general, you have to make sure you have at least 1 Talisman of Energy. It's just so stat efficient right now. I'm also going to rank up my Heavenly, I'm going to not rank up my Heavenly Agility because I can afford to get my Sentinel's Gift as well with my Talisman of Energy. So instead of ranking up my Heavenly Agility here, I'm going to grab my Sentinel's Embrace to give out those protections. So now we've got the protections from our Thebes, we got the protections from our Sovereignty, we got the bonus movement speed and attack speed from our Talisman of Energy. We are giving out so many protections. We are extremely tanky. We have a bunch of HP, and it is support o'clock time. So my general strategy right now in these team fights is I would prefer to ulti us in to start the fight, follow up on somebody with my 1 or my 2, and then use my 3 to peel back and help out my team to make sure that they're not getting dove. Right now, my peel priority is going to be on whoever is the squishiest with the most damage. So Fenrir is doing the most damage right now, but he's also very tanky, so he's not going to need a lot of peel. Chances are right now, peel-wise, it's going to be these 3, the Quanger Banger, Izzy, Janice. I see that Quanger is absolutely crushing it with the 10 and 0. So Ao Quang is going to be my preferred peeling target. If I can keep him alive, chances are he is going to be carrying our brains out. So you can't peel for everybody, obviously. You've got a limited amount of abilities. You've got a limited amount of position that you can be in. So try to peel for your highest value targets. That's not necessarily an individual god. That's going to be from game to game.
Gank!
So right now, I'm going to throw down a sentry ward. There is no vision here. I'm going to call for a gank. And I'm going to start ulting. And I'm going to ulti deep into this backline. I want to be behind their squishy characters. I see the Robin. I'm going to try to follow up the Sun. I see the Soul. And we should be able to grab ourselves a quick kill on this Soul. Pop it Heavenly for my Fenrir so we can get in with the Brutalize. I see the Quang over and right. He has grabbed the kill. We can just continue to shut through mid. I'm going to heal on my minions so that way these Oni minions keep on tanking. We've got creeps over in left and in right. So I'm going to walk in here, start tanking these. Remember, you can heal your creeps as well with your 3, especially when it's something very tanky like a Oni minion. It can be very beneficial. I'm going to use my 3 on the Fenrir just to bring me really far into this fight. And now we can just run into this Titan room, and I can try to zone out all of these guys. Just kind of walk at him, hit him with some CC. I don't have to peel if nobody on my team ever takes any damage, because I'm trying to zone them out on the Horus. So right there for my last item this game, I would have gotten myself a Witchblade. Witchblade gives me a little bit more physical protections, a little bit of CDR, and more importantly, this game, they had a Apollo and a Soul, so they had 2 big auto attackers, which is going to slow down their auto attack speed by 25%. Plus, Witchblade is a very cheap item, and it's just crazy stat efficient. Another option there, though, is always going to be Pridven. I really like Pridven at the end of support builds, particularly if you're going to go that Thebes. The Thebes Sentinel's Embrace kind of combination gives you a bunch of protections. So the value out of the Pridven shield that you can get is really, really high. Plus, at the end of the game, you're going to want to get some cooldowns going anyway. I tend to lean into the Witchblade, but if you can get a Witchblade and a Pridven by like selling boost later in the game, you're going to get a ton of value out of that. Plus your red pot, you're at 40% CDR, and you barely built any CDR items, guys. And that is our Horus support guide.